Good afternoon and welcome to Social Media Fridays on Sunday. We couldn't get started on Friday. Michelle Dear wasn't here. Okay, so each week we discuss topics which are posted on the Social Media Fridays community on Google+. And then we join together usually on Fridays to discuss them. With us today we have Edwin Jonk, CEO of IDESTHOST in the Netherlands. You can find Edwin at idesthost.nl. And Michelle Dear, who will answer most of the questions today because a lot of them are, well, beyond me anyway. Okay, so our first item of general business on our agenda is that Twitter has surpassed LinkedIn as the #1 social media sales tool, according to somebody. Okay, tell us all about it, Michelle.
Well, there was a survey conducted by the Contributors Company, the contributor to the Forbes article, and there was only a slight advantage in the survey of Twitter over LinkedIn for the sales prospecting. So it wasn't this huge advantage, but it was telling, because usually what happens is when people are approached, or when businesses are approached to say, what's the #1 tool that you would go to for sales prospecting, they'll say, oh, by far it's LinkedIn. So that's what was telling and what's so interesting about this survey. The woman Vanessa DeMoro really did a great job of explaining it. But to boil down what she said, basically you can kind of consider Twitter as the casual environment to meet sales prospects, and then really LinkedIn is kind of where you get down to business. And so the two tools, you can kind of work in tandem together to sales prospect. So that was an interesting piece of information that came out of that survey.
Okay, anything to add, Edwin?
Yeah, do they use the direct messaging on Twitter, or is it all in public? Or
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
do they use the DM function on Twitter, or do they just send tweets and it's all in public? Or
they probably do a combination of a number of things. They probably use it as a tool to engage. So, for example, asking questions, of course, building their audience, trying to build their following for qualified leads. But one of the things that a lot of people do, and I do this as well, is get involved in Twitter chats and meet people through there. In fact, that's where I've met a lot of colleagues, but also potential clients. It's an excellent way to do that, and I see a lot of potential clients and business prospects doing that. So that's probably how they're finding a lot of their potential clients.
Okay, have we covered this one?
I believe so.
Record that as a yes anyway. Here's a new way to discover tweets. The first initial announcement regarding how tweets will be used in Google search from Twitter's blog. I haven't had time to read the blog. Who has?
I have. Not sure if Edwin has had an opportunity. And probably most of us have been aware that this is coming down the pipe. When I posted this was the first official announcement from Twitter regarding the pipeline coming to Google. It's mobile. It's going to be mobile for now. It's available on Android and iOS. iOS. It's in the U.S. only right now. So let's say that you search on Lady Gaga or something, anything like that, or IBM. what you'll see when you do the search is up at the top, it'll be kind of like a carousel of tweets. A little bit different than what you used to see like on the desktop where it would be on the side. So it'll be up at the top in a carousel. Now the desktop web version that we used to see will be coming out soon, but I don't have an exact time frame on that. Of course, the U.S. always gets the stuff first, but more countries will be available up in the upcoming months. I don't have a list of countries that hasn't been made available. Don't know specific time frames. They just said in the upcoming months. Usually, and again, don't quote me on this, but usually when they say more countries, you know, you can always pretty much guarantee that's going to be the UK, Canada, you know, European countries, Australia, that kind of stuff. That's what we tend to see. India and that kind of thing. So I would be surprised if it weren't those countries in the upcoming months. And that's pretty much what you've got going on with respect to that. And you should be seeing those if you're in the U.S. When you search on iOS and Android.
Well, you need to have a specific search, right? You need to use the hashtag. And I saw a couple of demos that not every hashtag will give this Twitter carousel. It has to be a little bit trendy to be to have a Twitter carousel. But I haven't played with it because it's US only.
Oh, how did you get that from the Netherlands? How did you make that work?
Well, I could probably use a proxy, but I haven't.
Oh, well, there you go. If you want to test it, you can try it out with a proxy.
Yeah. It's the only way for outside the US, I think.
I could say that you use a proxy to go back in time, given that the Netherlands is way ahead of the US, but no, I wouldn't say that. All right, number 3 is Facebook adds caller ID to Messenger app. What does this mean?
Okay, so I'm not really happy with the words caller ID, but I guess for all intents and purposes, that's what it is. Basically, the reason that they did this is sometimes if you have like 1,500 friends, and you may not know all of the people you friended, if you have that kind of situation going on, you might get a chat from somebody that you just don't recall who they are. So what's going to happen is when a friend texts you through Messenger, or maybe somebody who isn't your friend texts you through Messenger, what you should see now, is a larger picture of the individual, and you're going to see information that's available in their profile. Now, if they're your friend, what you're going to see, and again, only if this information is filled out in their profile, is going to be like their occupation, where they live, and then who your mutual friends are. If it's not somebody that's in your friends list, you're only going to see the information that's publicly available. You know, if you were going to view their profile publicly. But again, you know, if it's your friend and they haven't filled that information out, then you're not going to see it. So it just gives you a little bit of information. If you know, like if you have three friends named Mark and you just don't know which Mark is texting you, you can just go, oh, it's that Mark. So, you know, it just gives you a little bit more information so that you don't make a mistake when you text them, or when they text you, rather. Oh, and let me see, there was some additional information. Right now, this is available in the US, the UK, France, and India on both iOS and Android. And I'm sorry, it's not available right now. It's going to be rolling out in the next few weeks. So US, UK, France, and India.
That Messenger app is getting quite messed up, to be honest. It used to be that it was a nice clean chat program, and now they stuff all these things into the Messenger app. Personally, as a user, I don't like it.
They really are. They're deploying the apps in it, and they're trying to get. They're moving toward getting businesses involved and all of that. It's yeah. they're going to make it very complex.
Yeah, and you can also share images, and it looks like a Facebook 2.0.
Well, personally, I'm on Yahoo Messenger, and I think that's a good little tool. And I don't know why Facebook's trying to get into the business market when Yammer already has that completely tied up. Anyway, let's move on to the next. We've got 25 to push through today. This one is Russia threatens to block Facebook, Twitter, and Google. How will we find Tim Capper if they block Google?
This one's more.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a lag.
Go ahead.
There's a lag, so I'm not intending to talk over you, and I apologize for that. This is more of an interest story rather than an actual social media story, or social media information. But I reported this on May 22nd, and what's going on is Facebook, Twitter, and Google. Well, Russia has these specific internet laws, and Facebook, Twitter, and Google have used particular, encryption algorithms. They encrypt their data, and the Russian government wants to be able to block certain content, and because of the encryption, they can't see the data, so they can't block certain data. And so the government, actually, the media watchdog side of the government, sent demands to Facebook, Google, and Twitter, indicating that they wanted them to de-encrypt the data to conform to the Russian laws, internet laws. Now, I since then I have read that, and I didn't put this out I haven't put this out like in the comments or anything, but Facebook has not responded, and I haven't read anything about Google or Twitter having responded or not responded. But I'm assuming that they haven't. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do or what's going to happen with respect to that. But it wasn't really a request. It was just kind of like, do this or we'll block you kind of thing. I don't know what's going to come of it.
And
Edwin, I see you go ahead, Edwin.
Yeah, it's not like a copyright infringement that they want to block. In Russia, they have laws where people cannot share, for example, books like Mein Kampf. So it's more about content like that is offending. It's basically against Russian laws. It's not about copyright infringement. Many other countries around the world have somewhat similar laws or legislation. So it's to me the demand from Russia to ask these companies to reply and to respect the Russian law isn't really that of a huge deal, and understandable. I think when it comes to blocking content, the US is pretty high up because of the DMCA Act, and of course because a lot of content is hosted in the US. So when it comes to censoring content, I think the US is way above everything else.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next. We can skip this one because this is a duplicate of the one we've just covered. So that was quick. Here we have one article posted by Michelle. Pinterest has created a new type of promoted pin.
Yes, and there's actually more to this article than just that. I went through it, but this is probably the most interesting part of the article. So for advertisers, and really just for anybody who, for individuals like Etsy people who are using Pinterest to make money, there's a new type of pin, a new type of rich pin called a cinematic pin. And the way that I would describe it is it's kind of between like a GIF and a Vine. It's really not a video. It's very short, and it moves, but it moves when you scroll past. Like when you scroll down the screen, the pin has a movement to it, much like a GIF, kind of in between a Vine. So it obviously draws the eye, and it's really neat. I don't know how you make it or anything like that. I'm sure there's all kinds of directions, but it's really cool looking. Other things that they've come out with, they call it a new ad suite, is they have this new thing called, well, they've gone into deeper audience targeting, much like you experience with Facebook, and we're going to talk about Twitter in a little bit. So now when you do advertising, you can look, you can target for interest personas. They called it something different, but age groups like millennials and Gen X and that kind of thing. They're also adding, in addition to cost per click and cost per impression, they're adding a cost per engagement. You know, so if someone clicks on it, you know, you've got an engagement instead. Application pins. So before, if you've seen one of the social media Fridays before, we've talked about application pins in Pinterest, which are new or newer. So now you can promote application pins, and those can be promoted on a cost per action basis. So that's kind of cool. I think there was a little bit more. Nope, that's it on that. Those are the main points in there. So you've got cinematic pins, which are way cool. Audience targeting for promoting your rich pins. Cost per engagement, and then this is the second cool thing that I think of all of it, is promoting the application pins. So lots and lots there. Look at the article if you want to review all of that.
Cool. All right, here we have a new feature that Snapchat is exploring.
Yes, and I'm going to caveat this. I'm not a Snapchat person, guys. I mean, really, I just started my obsession with Instagram. So, but here's what's happening with the music videos. So Snapchat is dabbling with and has actually expanded into, the advertising because of the millions and millions of people on Snapchat. And what they've done now is they have a musician, his name is Josh Legg, and he partnered with Snapchat to release some music videos. And basically what the article is saying is that, I'm just going to read this straight, this continues to show that Snapchat is moving down the path of being a media hub of some sort. So as far as I know, what it sounds like is Snapchat's trying to kind of feel its way out to find out how it's going to monetize itself with respect to, you know, the age set that's really using it. So that's basically what's going on with the videos. And I don't know if they're going to reach out. I think what they're trying to do is see how successful it was, because it was just the one musician doing the 4 full-length videos. Not in this article, but it was been in the news a whole lot. Snapchat announced its intent for an IPO. This is not the first time they've done this, but the reason I wanted to mention it is because right after they did this, there was just a whole bunch of funding and financing and lots of talk. So to me, it appears they may be a bit more serious about it than previous times they've talked about it. But they haven't, again, as usual, they have not mentioned any kind of time frame. Edwin, by chance, do you use Snapchat or have you used it before?
Yeah, I got it installed. I don't see those videos. It's under the Discover, right?
They were literally, I mean, like just released, and I think that they wanted you to find them through like the Discovery tool or something. I'm really just having to quote the article. I went into Snapchat the other day, and I didn't know how to find anything.
The Discovery features pretty new. Basically, it's for publishers like CNN, MTV, Cosmopolitan, Daily Mail, and they and also National Geographic, and they create dedicated content as for this feature because it's in portrait mode, right? So according to this article, it should be on the Discovery thing, but I cannot find it.
I'm searching for it now.
And for music videos, that seems a little bit hard because music clips are normally in landscape, so they have to redo everything in portrait mode. That seems like really expensive for video clips. That is.
They did it. He did it. In Snapchat helped him do it, and the video was done. You're right, in portrait. So he didn't fund it himself. Snapchat helped him. It was I'm searching. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm searching for it, but I don't know how to do it. So I'm kind of sad when it comes to this, but I went to the little search area. I give up. I don't know how to do it.
Well,
I'm glad you used it.
The Discovery feature is a little bit hidden. Nothing on Snapchat says anything, right? When you open the app, it's you click on the hamburger at the lower right, and then you go to the top right. There you see a circle.
Oh, there it is.
And when you click that,
you're right. That's where I would find it. Yeah.
You really have to know
Maybe
it. Maybe
they weren't.
Go ahead.
You know what? Sorry. Okay. That was frightening. Sorry.
And what is nice about Snapchat is that basically you get all those Snapchats from all around the world. So on holidays like the Carnival or Easter.
Toward it being a media hub.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That was their test. They wanted to see how the music videos went. How you find them, I'm not exactly sure. I did a search for Josh Legg, but it didn't come up, so don't do that. Don't make that noise. No, don't make that noise. Okay, I'm not going to try it anymore.
All right, moving right along from Snapchat, here we have Material Hangouts update rolling out now. So if you use the Hangouts Chrome app, I suppose you'll be seeing this change. I'm not sure if I use it. I think I set up for Hangouts that so long ago. I'm not sure. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I read this article more in depth before our Hangout so that I can understand it because I don't use it either. Excuse me. But if you use the Google Hangouts Chrome app, you've probably noticed a design change by now, hopefully. Basically, there's a new option, and the new option is to switch between the transparent UI and the single window UI. And apparently, it's just a really nice look and feel for the difference. Where it makes the most difference is on OS X and Linux, because apparently the transparent UI had floating heads and it just wasn't an optimal look. And so having that single window UI has made all the difference in the world. Now, excuse me, if you have the app installed and it hasn't updated itself yet, it will soon. Or if you want to work around that and you want to kind of go force the update, go to the article. At the bottom of the article, or at the end of the article, there's a tip and a trick on how to go force the update.
Okay, I see Masataki Wasa has just joined us. Masataki is a Google top contributor on the AdSense and Google Plus Help community. He's also webmaster of wasaweb.net. I was just reading some of your articles tonight, Masataki, because you just shared that collection. It's not the first time I've been on your site, but mate, you write well. Anyway, you can find Masataki at wasaweb.net, wasaweb.net. How are you, mate? Having said all that, he's not speaking to me. All right, here's one. What is Facebook Business Manager?
Sorry, guys, let me find my... Okay, there we go. Okay, so this isn't news, but I thought that I'd bring it up because many people aren't familiar with Facebook Business Manager. So the reason I wanted to bring it up is I kind of got wrangled into it quite by accident. So I'd like for people to know what it is who haven't been familiarized with it. Basically, if you're an agency or if you're an individual like a freelancer and you're responsible for managing multiple client pages, if you use a social media management tool like Hootsuite or something like that, the clients have to give you administrative access to their pages. Well, the Facebook Business Manager allows you to manage those client pages without having administrative access. Excuse me. And it is a free tool through Facebook. Excuse me. It also allows you to oversee the Facebook ads and the applications on the pages. Now, when I say oversee the ads, it doesn't allow you to go into Power Editor and actually do anything with those ads, but at least it lets you oversee them. So it does have those advantages to it. And I want to give a little bit of a warning here. If you want to play with Facebook Business Manager, be aware of something, because this happened to me. I wanted to play with it just to see what it was, and I went in and I turned it on. And I only had one page that I manage of my own, and Facebook Manager used that as the primary page. Unfortunately, there's no way to turn Facebook Business Manager off once you turn it on, and that still remains to this day. There's only a workaround to get out of Facebook Business Manager. So in order to regain access of your primary page, so you have to go and you have to create a dummy Facebook page and assign that over to the primary. And it's not an easy thing to do. So please just be aware that if you do want to try out Facebook Business Manager before, just to see what it's about, have another Facebook page available to set as your primary so that you don't lose administrative access through Facebook to the one that's basically your production Facebook page. And then it's worth taking a look at. So really, for all intents and purposes, there are two good reasons to use Facebook Business Manager. If your clients don't want to give you administrative access to their pages, and if you want to be able to have some kind of oversight over the ads and the applications. But otherwise, if they don't have a problem, then go back to a social media management tool like Hootsuite or whatever you typically like to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Hootsuite, Hootsuite launches Facebook ads.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about this one. It's really not Facebook ads. It's actually promoted posts. But this is the first time I've seen, and it's possible it's not the first time this has happened, but this is the first time I've seen an integration of any type of advertising with Facebook or Twitter or any of the like into a social media management tool, at least a general tool, not a very specific high-dollar tool. And what they've done is, let me get to the right one. What they've done is they've created this is for users, like a standard user profile, and for a page. And what you can do is you can promote a post. And I'm just going to back up a second, just in case you're not familiar, the people watching are not familiar with a promoted post over a Facebook ad. If you create a post on your page, you have the ability to promote that post, which is different from creating an ad. And by promoting that post, you can reach a larger audience. And that's what a promoted post is. So what Hootsuite has done is they've created a way where they can analyze all of the posts on your page or on your profile and recommend the best post for you to promote. So once you've done that, now you can choose your own, of course, if you want. But you can use the one that they've selected, and then you have one of four, if you're not familiar with promoted posts, you have four objectives from which to choose, so you choose your objective. Now, you can let Hootsuite handle the placing and the bidding and the targeting for you, the targeting being your audience and that kind of thing, and let it handle the whole thing, or you can let it choose those things and then you can go in and tweak it or whatever. So it's really neat for the promoted posts. And by the way, promoted posters are doing very well in Facebook, even against the advertising. So it's worth taking a look at in Hootsuite. I'm very excited about this feature. Oh, and there's a demo in the article, demo video in the article that's worth taking a look at.
Excellent. All right. Any other comments?
Well, does it have the same granular? Because with the post, you can target to friends of friends. You can target specific regions, right? Does it have the same functions, or? Do you know that, or?
I'm sorry. You broke up on me. Did you ask if it has the same option for friends of friends?
Yeah, when you boost a post, there are a lot of options on Facebook, right? You can have friends of friends. You can have set it to a specific region. You can target male or female between different age groups, and does Hootsuite have the same or the same options, if you know?
It should have. I haven't gone and looked specifically at it in Hootsuite, but it should have the same options that you would have in Facebook when you promote the post. So when you have once you choose. Yes, the bottom line is whatever your options are for promoting the post in Facebook, you will have those same options when you promote through Hootsuite. it's basically it's basically the exact same thing. You're just doing it through Hootsuite. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, and the added value from Hootsuite is that they can automate it and suggest which post is best to boost, right, or promote.
Exactly. And they can automate. Excuse me. They just have that analysis feature, and they can recommend and analyze the best targeting and everything, and then you can select it, or you can go back and tweak it before it processes.
Okay. Next one is fairly well self-explanatory. The popular Twitter app Periscope is now available on Android. Any comments on this before we move on? Okay, so here's one posted by Mr. Yonk. Internet.org is not that neutral. Did we ever think it was going to be, Edwin? Comments on that? Go ahead.
Internet.org is a project from Facebook, and basically it gives a version of the internet free to people in India, Nigeria, I think, a couple of countries they have this in. But everything is going through Facebook. So Facebook knows everything, and Facebook is pretty much a proxy. And that's the main complaint of the EFF, that all the traffic is going through Facebook, so Facebook can see how long you visit a particular page. What they also do, I think they are caching the different sites. They do that to make the images smaller, for example, which makes sense because then people can view more in the free internet.org thing.
Okay. That headline is from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Is it? Internet.org is not neutral, not secure, and not the internet.
Yeah, yes, indeed, because everything is going through Facebook. Images and text are located on the Facebook servers, and I think they even go. They do that because otherwise they cannot measure how many kilobytes you use.
I see. I suppose the takeaway from Internet.org is, why didn't you and I register that name?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
All right.
To be fair, Mark Zuckerberg didn't say that Internet.org is a non-profit organization or supported by Facebook. He never said that. So.
Okay. All right. Google and Yahoo are apparently also interested in buying Flipboard. Flipboard, that's the site where you share a slide deck, is it? Or no, you create like a magazine type format, is that it?
Yeah. It's. Go ahead, Edwin.
No, I thought you went for a coffee, so.
I did. I got back. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Flipboard. Edwin, you may know more about it. I know just about the whole buying thing. What do you know about Flipboard, Edwin?
Nothing. Yeah.
Oh.
on every new phone, it's there, and so. But I don't use it. They use RSS feeds, right?
All I know is that I think Mark Trepagan has got a Flipboard. I saw it and I thought, hello.
All I know is it takes up a tremendous amount of resources on my computer. But yeah, it's kind of like a magazine style thing. Like you can put internet articles on it, if I recall, and put documents on it. Anyway, what happened is that, of course, Twitter had approached Flipboard, and that was reported, and then they came back and said, oh, but Google and Yahoo also approached them. And Google and Yahoo both fell through because of pricing. They couldn't agree on pricing. Twitter approached them and said, yeah, okay, $1 billion, and that worked out between the two. However, it's been put on hold for the time being. So don't know if the purchase is going to go through or not because it's been put on hold. But they have agreed to a price point of USD $1 billion. Of course, look at me, $1 billion. That was my take on Dr. Evil. So I know sometimes my references don't get caught because they're U.S. references. So.
Well,
go ahead, Edwin.
In the article from the Washington, what was it? The Wall Street Journal, sorry. There's, let me get a quote here. The force behind Twitter's interest. Basically, that the Twitter financial chief Anthony Noto, the former Goldman Sachs Group banker who led that firm's investment in Flipboard, when the startup raised $50 million in 2013. So my guess is that they are just playing. They try to raise the value of Flipboard. It's just one big game.
Yes, it is a game that unfortunately we can't play, Edwin.
No, I don't think those discussions are serious, especially when you have bankers giving this information out, right? If bankers or financial people do these things, then maybe the talks aren't that serious, and they just try to raise their own interests.
Okay, here's a minor article. Facebook tests a path-like flyout menu in the iPhone app. I don't have an iPhone, I have a Windows phone.
So yeah, I don't have this functionality. It's a test. Just so you know, oh good, okay, so you can see on your screen a little bit of what it's going to look like. I don't know if you scroll down, Jim, if it can show the whole thing, the whole image. But basically, it's just a select audience that can see this, that has this available. And what basically is, it's on iOS only in the Facebook app. And you'll notice that down in the bottom, if you kind of look, squint your eyes and look, normally at the top you would have, the post and everything to post a status, and that is down at the bottom now. So if you were to select post, normally you would have just a very tiny little button to write your post. Now what happens is you get this flyout to the right, which you see with the colored circles. And let me see, I'm going to tell you what the options are, obviously, because they're in different colors. But you have basically, you have your photo, your check-in, your share photo, and your write post. And it's nicer because they're bigger, and if you're like me, I have a really hard time using my finger on those tiny little, I have the tiny screen on the iPhone, so it's just really hard for me. So if you have that, it would be great if you put it in the comments and let us know what you think. Or if you want to see a bigger screenshot of it, check out the article, and you'll be able to see those bottom buttons and see what it's going to look like if you get it on I don't know if this is going to become a standard feature or not. They're just testing it right now.
Okay. Google Photos is official and launching. Now we should say launched now. I think it's underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
Well, I never really used it before until recently, so I don't really notice the difference one way or another. So I really can't speak to how it was before compared to now. What do you guys think?
Well, for argument's sake, the sharing app is interesting because it doesn't just offer sharing on Google Plus. It also offers Twitter and Facebook. I think it's Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, it's Twitter and Facebook, and you can generate a shortened link.
Right.
And then now what that does is it will point to a web page where you have shared a particular image or images, and you remain. So if you share by the link, I think you essentially retain the control in that if you delete that link, it will essentially if you like, it creates a pseudo or quasi album which you can then delete. So there's sort of a bit of oddity there. With Facebook and Twitter, I'm not so sure whether they actually trigger the Twitter cards and things like that. I think they do, but as far as I'm aware, you cannot change the title. So it would be, I think it's photos by or photos of, name, and not much more information that you can add. So not greatly convinced by that aspect. No, I think it is better that you can share to other social media networks. I don't know why, for example, Pinterest's not on there, but hey. So it does still seem to be very much incomplete. I think that's
I totally agree. I mean, they took so long to release it. You'd think that they would have waited until they finished it before they did.
Oh, come on. You know that Google never does that. They'll push things out and, improve as time goes along. That's how it operates in most cases.
But isn't it a step backward from what they already had?
Well, I think what it has done, obviously, is to decouple photos from Google+. So you don't have to have a Google+ profile page to use Google Photos. So in that sense, I think it's an improvement. I think the visual presentation is better. It sort of mirrors more the mobile UI. I think it does look like if the mobile UI has been ported to desktop. So if you're on desktop, then it does look slightly bare, shall we say. But then Google has been minimalist for a while. So yeah, I think the issues really relate to the missing functions. So for example, you cannot on Google Photos edit the location of the photograph or the date, which you could do on Google Plus Photos.
Yep.
And the big thing is
they refer to us as Muppets, Masataki. Google users, Googlers think we are Muppets.
Well, at least they don't consider us morons, then that'd be good.
Oh, so we should be grateful for that. I see. Go ahead, Edwin.
Just like on the photos on Google Plus, it's free and unlimited. But now because it's not branded as Google Plus, and I can see it being used much more than the Google Plus photos.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Well,
maybe.
I'm sorry. I think you'll find that it's only free and not part of your gigabyte quota if you accept their lesser quality, which they call they've titled high quality images.
Well, I think it's this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's 16 pixels for the photo to be the maximum they allow is 60 pixels and 1080p. So it's not raw images which you would get from your ASLR. Is that from one of those expensive phones or photos? So, but for consumers, I could see this as being a Dropbox killer, because it's free. All your phone images are automatically uploaded, and people don't have to use Dropbox anymore. And Dropbox, you have to pay for it, and it's all free.
Yeah,
that's an interesting point.
I think Edwin's right in that this is aimed particularly towards mobile users, because mobile phone photographs are never going to be the, sort of fancy photograph thing. You go along, snap few images, you want it uploaded, backed up in cloud, and this does that, and it doesn't count towards your quota because in mobile phone cameras are never going to be that high spec. It's not going to be the proper camera, if that makes sense. So for the vast majority of people who use their mobile phone, smartphone cameras as their main means to capture images, then the quota issue has now disappeared.
Yep. Okay.
So in that sense, I think it is squarely aimed at probably the sort of the largest section of users now. Then it's not really for the serious photographers as such, perhaps.
No, it is a consumer service. It's not a professional service.
Exactly. So it's appealing to that vast majority of people. And if we're going to be using their mobile phones, essentially to take photographs and also manage them.
I'll tell you what else has disappeared. Masataki Wasa's 29 million views aren't recorded there either.
What, on my profile?
Yes, they're still on your profile. I checked Masataki to get the number. And we can probably skip this one because this one was Google Plus Photos app for Chrome. To be discontinued. Or maybe we'll invite a comment from someone, because I imagine that Michelle has researched this.
Yeah, basically right after, this goes part and parcel with the release of Google Photos. So the Google Plus Photos app for Chrome will be discontinued on 21 July. Let's see. I'm just going to quote here. All of your previously backed up photos are still in the cloud, and switching to Google Photos app is fast and easy. If you need assistance, there's a link in the article to the Google Help Center. So that's all there is to that.
Okay.
Yeah, at the moment, you can go back to Google Plus Photos. It's a bit like going to Picasa. If you go to plus.google.com/photos, you are redirected to photos.google.com, but you have back to Google Plus Photos link, and then you can go back to Google Plus Photos, at least on desktop. And that's quite useful because of the lacking functions that I have mentioned. So if we want to add location, for the photograph, for example, change the location, then at the moment you cannot do so on Google Photos. You'd have to go back to Google Plus Photos interface in order to do that. Same for date. So if you want to change the date of the photograph, then you have to do that as well. So I don't know how long that's going to be the case. I mean, Picasa, you could still go to Picasa all the time. I'm not so sure whether that's going to be the same. Who knows? But at this moment, and as far as I'm aware, it's possible to go to Google Plus Photos, and that can be useful in certain circumstances.
Cool. Thank you, Mesa. All right, let's move on to the next. Facebook Messenger payments feature. This has always been a vexed question, the transfer of funds from one country to another and so on. Will this bite into PayPal's share of the market, do you think, guys?
I don't know about that, but I will say that they've added some features that I want to address just real fast, if you don't mind. Regardless of them releasing it into the new cities, what they've done is used to be that you had the little, if you put your credit card or your debit card and attached it, and you had the little dollar sign, and you could transfer money that way, but you had to leave chat to finish the transaction. What they've done now is both in a one-on-one chat and a group chat. If you enter a dollar amount, if you want to send someone money in the chat, they hyperlink the amount. So if you type in like $5, so I'm just going to use USD dollars right now, but you put in $5, it hyperlinks, and then it gives you a confirmation, the sender, to make sure you didn't make a mistake. And the sender clicks on the $5 and receives, and you don't have to leave chat at all, and it does the transfer automatically. If you're in a group chat, and let's say everybody owes you $5 for dinner the other night, you can do all of the transactions there within group chat as well without having to leave chat. So that particular addition or extension is kind of nice, so that but one of the things that people are speculating is this is a move toward allowing businesses to be able to transact as well with individuals, but who knows. So those are the new pieces of the payments. I'm gonna let the guys speculate on how it would impact PayPal. I know that it's starting to impact, or they think it's going to impact Venmo, and I don't have that written down, but some of the others that the younger people are using to Snap Cash or something like that. I don't remember all the names, so I'll let the guys talk about that.
Any comments, guys? Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is so many new things. Why don't they wait till all the old people die until they bring this new stuff in? Marauders Map app can pinpoint your location. I thought we had this already.
No, we haven't talked about this. Before I talk about it, I do want to let you know that the Marauder extension has gone away. But basically, what happened was this gentleman, I'm going to mess up his name, Aran Khanna, a brilliant guy. Anyway, he noticed that with location services turned on in Facebook Messenger, you could map someone's location down to the meter. And so in order to prove lack of privacy or continued loss of privacy, he created Marauders Map, which of course is based on Harry Potter. and released a Chrome extension where people could basically stalk people. And where it came from is people weren't turning location services off. So it's been nixed, but the point is, if you don't want that kind of loss of privacy, double check Messenger, make sure that location services is turned off for that. Obviously, no one can track you now through that Chrome extension, but you know, I suppose someone else can come up with the same application. If you don't know if it's turned on or not, if you go into Messenger and you start a text chat, there's a little arrow in there. If it's blue, then your location services are turned on, so you can go turn those off. And you know, so you know, I have a tendency. I'm kind of weird. I turn location services off for like everything except Google Maps. But you know, do what you will. So good news, it's gone. And that's all there is about Marauders.
Okay. I tell you what I did find frustrating the other day. Has anybody tried to pinpoint your location in Google search recently? It used to be that you could put your actual location in, but now they don't want it. They don't want you to do that. They're using your IP address, and the frustration for me is that I live in Tweed Heads, which is a bit over 100 kilometres from Brisbane, but my IP address reports its location as Brisbane. So Google insists that I am in Brisbane, even though I'm in Tweed Heads. I want to search in Tweed Heads. They want me to be in Brisbane, and you can't change it. I don't think. Well, maybe it's just an old bloke mucking around, doesn't know what he's doing. But I'm fairly sure you won't be able to change it.
And is Brisbane in another time zone too, or?
It is. Yep.
Oh, that's annoying, because then your calendar is going to be messed up too, and Google Events and other.
That's a good point. I wonder if they're more flexible for. Well, actually, I don't use Google Calendar anyway. I use Cortana. I say, what am I doing today? She says, you have no appointments today. Anyway, here we have a Google executive said a buy button is imminent. A buy button is imminent, what, in Google Search or in Google Plus?
This is the one that I talked about in Dumb SEO Questions a while back. Now, it was anonymous sources then, but now we have it confirmed. And I'm sharing it here because it's digital marketing. So basically, here's how it's going to work. You have your Google ad. And again, I'm going to use my Nordstrom's and Stuart Weitzman shoes, right? So let's say that Nordstrom places a product ad for a particular Stuart Weitzman shoe. Normally, I would click on the ad and I would go to the Nordstrom site and I would purchase the shoe from there. The way that the buy button would work in this particular case, if Nordstrom were to take advantage of it, is I would click and I would move through to a Google Buy page and I would buy the shoes directly from there instead of going off-site to the Nordstrom site. So it's just all direct through Google, and I would still be buying directly from Nordstrom. It would just, Google would just kind of be the middleman for it. So that's how the buy button is basically going to work. There's been no mention of a time frame of when this would be implemented. It's basically, the reason I shared it is that we have an official confirmation on it, and that's it. So I just want to let you know how it's going to work and that kind of thing.
Well, this is. Oh, go ahead, Master.
No, I just wanted to. Thanks. So it's an AdWords extension, is it? Essentially.
It is from Google
Yeah,
Shopping.
I think.
Okay. Mm.
It is from Google Shopping, basically, as far as I understand. So within Google Shopping, you can add your products and promote them. Google Shopping is 100% paid. It used to be that it was free, but could list their products there. But these days, it's all paid advertisements. And what I understand is that that buy button will be connected to your Google Shopping listing.
Oh, okay. So it probably won't be available in Europe.
I don't know, Mastake. And to be honest, I don't use Google Shopping. It's one of the worst experiences for me. The providers on Google Shopping aren't that great, at least here in the Netherlands. So.
Yes, I agree with you, Edwin. I don't know why they get involved in things they can't handle. Anyway, moving on with the next. No, let me have a rant. ShopSafe. We used to handle maybe 5 or 6 queries a week, where a merchant, basically most of them were breakdowns in communication. But because ShopSafe had enormous traffic, I think I can't even remember the numbers. They seem unreal to me now. But dating back as far as say 2007, we were doing. Oh, I hope I'm not wrong. Say 40,000 visits a month, something like that. More? No, might have been. Look, I can't remember. But it was a lot, and we used to solve 4 or 5 issues a week where people would email us, they say we haven't got our product or whatever. And the other useful function we used to perform was that because we knew what was going on, we were able to alert people to a site that was acting out of policy, if you like. We just didn't have serious issues in those days. I remember there was a phone site which was replicated to look exactly like a well-known phone site, except that they put it on a .net version of the .com.au, and we were able to alert people because this had popped up, and in fact in those days we had the pull to basically embarrass Melbourne IT into removing the name servers for that domain. It was obviously a fraudulent domain set up for Christmas shopping, and there are many stories like that. But ShopSafe was one of them. But around about 2007, Google decided that sites like ShopSafe, which carried product for many other services, weren't going to be useful any longer, and of course Google was going to replace them. So Google has replaced them. They just took the traffic away from us, yes, they have replaced us, but what have they brought in return? There's a site here in Australia which advertises brother products. In fact, I can tell you it, genuinebrother.com.au, and it's a fraudulent site. They advertise product. They swear it's in stock, but when the time comes, the product is not sent out. Eventually, the client qualifies for a refund, which they do refund, but in the meantime, I mean, these items are big ticket items. A product that might be $5,000, might be $10,000 invoices, and they have that money for a month. By the time the client gets sick of waiting for a product that's never going to arrive, that they've bought at a price that's just not economically sustainable, they've bought it from this site, and they've got a chain of these sites, by the way, a whole nest of them, and they sell these products, not having them, and then refund the money. But they've had the use of that money for a month by the time that process is over. Now that's Google's fault, because Google decided that they were going to replace the hundreds of sites like ShopSafe that actually were in touch with the consumer, were in touch with what was going on, and you can't use an algorithm to supply that personal touch. And why Google persists in getting into stuff that they just can't handle, they just screw up time after time after time. End of rant. On with the next. Here's one. Pinterest improves related pins with deep learning and object recognition. Oh, hang on. Didn't we handle this?
Nope, this one's a new one. I know it seems really similar, but it's different. The other one had to do with a new type of ad suite and a new type of pin. It was, oh, bless you. It had to do with those carousel pins that move. What this one has to do with is how it's trying to find related items. So, for example, let's just address women, because right now it's about 80% women on Pinterest, and we're looking at purses here. And that's a beautiful Michael Kors purse, by the way. I know it's difficult to see because it's so small on the screen, but I happen to like it. So we'll just use me as an example. Let's say that I'm searching for a Michael Kors purse, and I find that one, and I think it's absolutely stunning. Right now, they're using this new technology that they're calling visual search, and they've created it based on deep learning. And you may have seen or read about deep learning recently. They're using it for robotics and other technology and that kind of thing. And if you haven't, Google it. It's worth taking a look and reading about. And they're using it right now for recommended items or related pins. Pardon me. But later on this year, they're going to be using it for something called similar looks. And this image, what you're looking at right now, is what similar looks is. So, and what you can't see is there's a clickable button on the larger purse, and if you click on it, so it's actually interactive. If you click on it, what will show up is what you see on the right-hand side, and it's showing you similar looks to the Michael Kors purse. And of course, that's great for advertisers who are trying to sell their products. And what they're showing is other Michael Kors purses or other purses look very similar. Personally, I'd go with that one that's big. But anyway, they don't have that right now. They have other recommended pins or related pins. But this is much more in depth. So this is pretty cool. I don't know when later in the year it's going to be coming out, but it will be coming. And I apologize, by the way, for those people that are watching. Please forgive the comment. We had so many things to get out because there were so many articles this week, and I shouldn't have put that there, but I was trying desperately to get everything out. So this was more for everybody going, I'm sorry that I didn't put more comments in, but I'm trying to get everything out.
Okay.
So
you go ahead.
This is object They try to guess the objects in a picture, right?
Exactly.
My thinking is because people do use watermarks and other stuff to basically protect their property, and that can be a problem for programs like these.
So for people who are trying to protect their property.
Yeah, with watermarks, so they overlay their name or their company name, and that pretty much blurs out the object, right? So.
You know, it didn't say this in the article, but I wonder if they're going to exclude all items except those that are for sale. I bet that's what they're planning to do. It just
Anyway.
didn't say in the article. I'm sorry, Jim?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's move on to question 21, because it's also about Pinterest. Pinterest tries to ditch the social network label. You've typed something here that I'm fairly confused. And stop calling me Shirley. For Jim, this is an airplane reference.
I was referring back to when we were talking about the clash in the dumb SEO questions, and in the article it was talking about Pinterest saying, "Don't call us a social network," and so I was like, "And stop calling me Shirley." So I thought that I'd clarify the reference for you. I figured you wouldn't get it, and that's my fault. I should have been more clear in my reference. But it was based on
we watch movies here in Australia too. We've even got electricity.
Yeah, but you know, you guys still have all those animals that kill people, and it's like being back in like thousands of years ago when you're in the cave and you're running for your life all the time. I'm kidding.
No. We're not fighting for our life all the time. It's quite safe. You just don't do silly things like walk through the bush in the dark and so on.
We kind of have the same thing. This is a real, just simple thing. And I don't remember names well, so forgive me. I want to say this gentleman's name correctly, but it would help if I could find the right article. Are we on the last one? Well, anyway, this right there. It's right there in front of me. Ben Silberman. Basically, he's saying we're not a social network. We have social elements, but social networks are about bringing people together, and Pinterest is about the individual. So, he's saying we're really not a social network. He doesn't really describe what he is, but what he wants Pinterest to be, or what he would call Pinterest. But it isn't a social network. It's a collection area, and it does share. People do share pins, and people follow each other. But it's not like a Google Plus, it's a community environment. It's not a Facebook and that kind of thing. So he wants to get away from that label, and so that's just an interest story.
Okay.
It is an interesting idea, an interesting point of view, because it rings true to me in that what Pinterest has replaced is StumbleUpon. Because I used to go to StumbleUpon quite often, looking at images, because I like to see nice images. Now I don't do that anymore. And that's because Pinterest is doing that job for me.
Edwin and I use Pornhub, Masataki.
I never used StumbleUpon.
Because that was a discovery thing. So basically it will show you a page after page, I think in a frame, and then you say, oh, you like that, you don't like that, you say you like certain types of content, and then they will show you, and then you could essentially say, I like it, neutral, don't like it, and then it will learn. So it will show you more of the things that you like. So primarily I used StumbleUpon for images, because some people use it for finding different kind of context. Different type of content. So it could be textual, it could be on certain topics, but I used it essentially for images and photography. And now I don't do that anymore, because I think Pinterest does a much better job of finding images that I like, because they highlight some of the things that's selected for you, I think, on Pinterest, and they are pretty good, I have to say.
I agree with you on that. And there's so many different ways that you can use it. Like, I use it for marketing. You can use it for visual resumes. Oh, there's just, the contest aspect of it. There's just so many ways you can use it. The things that people have come up with creatively is just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I think I understand where he's coming from, why he said that, because it is a different product from, let's say, Facebook. And in a sense, you can see Pinterest coexisting with many others. It's not in a direct competition, as it were, against other platforms. I think Pinterest has established its own sort of sphere.
It's certainly a phenomenon. Okay, how about we move on from this one and have a look at the next one. Introducing Twitter's Audience Insights. I had a look at this myself the other day. It's good stuff, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that so much could come out of 140 plus or 140 minus characters?
Yeah, they just recently released the regular analytics, and now they've come out with the Audience Insights for advertisers. And basically, you've got your insight. I'm just going to kind of read what I've got here, because the article goes through basically the same information, and it's got screenshots, so it's worth a look. But you get insights about your followers, engagement with organic tweets. You can identify new relevant audiences to target for campaigns. The same thing that we can use on Facebook, and we're learning about on Pinterest, the things that we're normally used to. Okay, so there's also a dashboard that you get aggregated data on, and you have demographics, interests, purchasing behavior, lifestyle, TV viewing behavior, and mobile footprint. Now, the aggregate information, it's aggregate, so it's private data. I mean, you're not getting anything specific about users. That's a 10,000-foot level of what's going on in there. Jim, what did you think when you took a look?
Yeah, well, as I said, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I like what I get when I go in and take a look at my engagement information, just the regular analytics. I was pretty impressed. I can figure out just very easily, without even having to massage the data, my best times to tweet, and just from just looking at the data. So.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to the next. This one is. We spoke about Internet.org a little while ago. Now, Internet.org, the Internet.org app launches in Pakistan.
Yeah. Basically, it launched. There were 16 apps associated with it. So it's just kind of a a news item. Excuse me. We talked about the net neutrality of it and everything, so we've already covered that. So just a news item that it launched.
Well,
Okay.
the most interesting is who joined, right? AccuWeather joined, BBC joined, Baby Center and Mama, Malaria No More, UNICEF joined, Bing, so not Google, but Bing. Google did join in Africa with internet.org, ESPN, the Cricket Info. That was launched also in India. Mustaqbil, I don't know what that is. And of course the normal apps like Facebook and then Facebook Messenger and Wikipedia. That's Wikipedia is the default for internet.org.
Okay. All right. So, we have another one here. 6 more countries getting Instagram carousel ads.
So
Go ahead.
So if you're an Instagram user, there's Instagram carousel ads, which basically allows you to see, it's like a carousel of pictures and that kind of thing. So they're expanding out to, on June 1st, the UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, and Brazil. So those will be available on Instagram in those countries on June 1st.
To think that I might have died tonight without learning that.
I know. I know you're an avid Instagram user.
Okay. All right. This one's interesting. Facebook is testing reviews from restaurant critics.
Let me find that one in here. Yeah, this one's kind of cool. I mean, if you're a foodie. Okay, so basically, thousands of restaurant pages in Facebook are testing this out with Facebook. There's 5 food critic publishers. You can see them there: Bon Appetit, Condé Nast, Eater. I don't remember Eater. I must have pasted that. Anyway, there's 5 of them that are listed there. And any of your friends, and I didn't list this there, friends or any other Facebook users that have reviewed the restaurant as well will be listed there on the page for their reviews. The summary of the review from any of those 5 publishers will be listed there for you to see as well. You can, if you click on the summary, it'll take you off page to the publisher's site so that you can read the full review of the restaurant. There's a couple of other things that are available. I need to find this. I've got it. I had it. Hold on one second. I wanted to mention that. I've just got it out of order here. Where is it? Well, okay, so basically, if you check into the restaurant on the Facebook app when you're at the restaurant, you will also see those reviews. And then there's an application that I'm not familiar with called Facebook Tip. And Masataki or Edwin or Jim, you may be familiar with this. It's Facebook Tip something or other. If you use that, you will also see the reviews. So I think I looked up a restaurant and saw it. This was back when I reported it, and I did see the information out there. So there's a lot of restaurants participating in it. So that information's out there. It's kind of cool.
No other comments? Okay, we're on with the next. Oops, it's thank you for watching.
Do you mind if I mention? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to mention one more thing, and then that'll actually cover everything to the top of our list. that I didn't get to cover that I threw out there earlier. Just wanted to mention that Facebook is now supporting animated GIFs, but not for pages, only for user profiles. You can't upload them, but you can link to them if they're on the web somewhere. So if you're into that, you can do that on your user profile. And that covers us all the way to the top, everything that's on the page.
Okay. Well, look, we still have eyeballs watching us. Go ahead. Who was that? Oh, okay. It must have been just feedback. Look, we still have eyeballs looking at us, and we thank you for that. Your participation, your interest in what we do makes what we do worthwhile, and we thank you most sincerely. We'll be back. I think this might be our last Sunday. We might, or maybe we'll discuss it through the week, and maybe do it on Sunday afternoon, or this time on the Sunday. Who knows? But look, in the meantime, I'll put a link into the article, which you'll find on the Social Media Fridays community. And we'd love to have you join us. We'll be off the air. You won't be broadcast publicly, but you're more than welcome to join us and have a chat.